Real problem with that terminology, the war on terror. Who ever heard of declaring a war on a tactic? You see, terrorism is a tactic. It actually is a war against the Islamic jihadist. Nobody wants to be politically incorrect, so they call it the war on terror. But let's be factually correct and understand what this war is all about. It is about a jihad, a holy war. The Islamic jihadists are behind this war. You know, I've never seen a group of Baptist ministers getting together to blow up a synagogue. I've never seen a group of Baptist ministers or Methodist ministers getting together to blow up a mosque. But we do see a pattern of Muslims getting together at the mosque to blow up churches, burn churches, blow up infrastructure. It is a jihad, a holy war from Islam. Let's get into internal politics, party antagonisms. The result is disunity. Is anybody getting along anymore? We have a country that is divided almost equally based on the issues or their hatred for one issue or the other. And we get into the foreign relations, divide and conquer. The result is isolation. We even have political candidates now that talk about, well, we want to return to the point where the world thinks better of America. Well, quite frankly, America has been the leader. It has been the leader of the free world and promoting values that a lot of people in the rest of the world do not share. I don't want change in that direction. I want change back to the principles that have made this country strong. Let's move on to the area of life in the demoralization period of 15 to 20 years, which we have already seen take place. We're just coming out of this particular period of 15 to 20 years. Let's look at the area of family and society. The method is break it up, and the result is no loyalty except to the state. We saw back in the early 1960s the beginning of all of this, where we saw the Great Society of Lyndon Johnson, the welfare program. The welfare program took the father out of the home, and the government became the daddy of the home. And look exactly what has happened in a lot of the ghettos in America today. It is a breakdown of society. You see, God has a definite order. And the order is this: God is the head of man, man is the head of woman, man and woman are the head of children. And every time you get outside of God's order, you get in trouble every time. Let's look at the area of health. We get into sports, medicine, junk food. The result is enfeebled masses. Our food supply is not nutritious today. We're importing in America 63% of our food supply. Do we really know the conditions under which it is grown? We have salmonella outbreaks, all of these things coming about, contributing to the enfeebled masses. We get into race, lower the uppers, forget about the Bible, genetics versus environment. The result is hatred and division. See, the Bible tells us that in the last days, kingdom will rise against kingdom. And you know the root word of kingdom is ethnos, ethnic groups. And this is what we are seeing today, ethnic groups competing and rising against one another. And then you get into the area of population. The method is de-land, urbanize, move people off of the farms where you can make a living or grow something, and put them, compartmentalize them. Even provide government mentors to these compartmentalized people. And as a result, there is a feeling of alienation. Then you get into labor, unions versus society. The result is victimization. So you see all of this disinformation process, the demoralization period that we're just coming out of, 15 to 20 years, we then get into the destabilization period, 2 to 5 years. I believe that we have 2 to 5 years to prepare in this destabilization period to get our financial, our political, and spiritual house in order. 2 to 5 years. 2 years minimum, 5 years maximum, if we're fortunate. Now let's look at the destabilization period and what it means to us. Right now, power struggle in the area right here, power struggle. The method is populism, unresponsive. The result is Big Brother. Now, We see political campaigns going on today trying to appeal to the crowds. And we see rock star status of some candidates that are appealing to a mindless generation. They're not thinking. My father always told me, son, think, think, think. I told my two boys growing up, boys, think, think, think. In fact, they even remind other people in business today what their dad told them, think. Think about the ramifications of everything that is going on in the country. We get into the economy. We destroy the bargaining process. And in the process, we yield to Big Brother. People talk about things like, well, we're going to have a managed free market. That's like having dry rain. You can't do it. A managed free market? No way. That is just, trying to put lipstick on a pig. It may look pretty, but it really doesn't do anything for it. Let's look into the society, the fiber and law. We have grassroots participation. The result is mobocracy. Mobocracy. And this is where the mob gets together, and we saw that in prior generations. We saw that in Nazi Germany, the mobocracy that Hitler was able to whip up. We're seeing some fervor of that even arise in our own country right now. And then we get into the area of the foreign aspects, isolation, multinations, and Central Committee. We lose our prestige, belligerence, and encirclement.